D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds, and welcome to my week in review, where I come to you every Sunday and I share with you 3 entertainment stories that I personally find interesting, and I hope you do too, and we can discuss those in that section down below, and you can leave all your comments and everything and what you think about the 3 stories. Also down below is articles or links to the articles of the story, so you can read them for yourself and make your own decision. So for my first story, Warner Brothers has named BBC's Ann Sarnoff as their new CEO. Now, this BBC executive, Ann Sarnoff, was named Chief of Warner Brothers on Monday, and basically she heads over the whole company. She doesn't just head one kind of thing, and everybody reports to her. Now, this is making her the first woman head of the studio in its 96-year history. Now, her appointment follows the departure of Kevin Sugihara in March, who stepped down after misconduct allegations. And there was some rumors that they would be hiring a female executive after Kevin Sugihara's leaving the company after his whole Me Too kind of scandal and everything. Now, she's better connected through her husband, Richard Sarnoff, who used to work with Activision and has a lot of connections in Hollywood. Now, before she worked at BBC America, she worked at Viacom, which is a huge conglomerate. And at Viacom, she was in charge of customer productions and business development. Sounds pretty boring, but look, it got her a job as CEO. Holler! Now, when she worked at BBC America, she headed up the direct-to-customer streaming. Ding, ding, ding right there. Streaming is very big right now. It's going to be big in the future. I mean, if you're not in streaming, you're going to be the dinosaur of the entertainment industry eventually. So with her history with streaming, and Warner Brothers feels that she would be the best person to head up the company. Now, it's kind of a tricky thing, because since she kind of piggybacked on her husband's connections in Hollywood to get the job, it sounds like. But I mean, obviously she's competent in her work, or they wouldn't have considered her. But it goes to the fact that if she does a good job, that will be reflected in her work. And if she doesn't do a good job, they'll probably just get rid of her and try to find somebody that can do the job and do it well. So that's my first story. So moving on to my second story, and that is that Joel Silver is out at Silver Pictures. Now, Joel Silver is one of Hollywood's legendary producers, which some of them are dropping like flies, and that includes Harvey Weinstein with his hashtag Me Too scandal, a criminal scandal. I mean, he did some pretty crappy things to women. That also includes Scott Rudin, who has never been able to rebound after those Amy Pascal emails and the Sony hack. Him and Amy Pascal, Scott Rudin was Amy Pascal's predecessor, and they were emailing each other back and forth and making some pretty cruel jokes and some racist jokes and stuff like that. They made fun of Angelina Jolie. I believe there was a comment about Michelle Obama in there. Don't quote me on that one. I can't really remember everything. It was a lot of stuff to go through with those hacks. Another one that is included in that is also Jerry Bruckheimer. But you don't really hear much about him in the news lately, so I mean. So moving on, so Joel Silver had a little company called Silver Pictures. Now, he also has something called Dark Castle, which you probably have seen the logo in some movies, in the front of some movies. Now, the real reason Joel Silver is in the news is because he's leaving his own company, which he started. Now, if you don't know who Joel Silver is, you at least know some of the movies that he's produced, almost exclusively for Warner Brothers. That includes the Lethal Weapon series, the Matrix franchise, the Die Hard franchise, the Sherlock Holmes movies, and he has kept relationships with everybody that he's worked with, and that includes the Wachowskis, I apologize, and Shane Black, for instance. Now, things have been going well for Joel Silver lately, have not been going for Joel Silver lately. because Warner Brothers actually ended their deal with his company. And basically what it is, he had not points, but he would get money for every movie that he made with them. And so he just told them outright, like, hey, you give me $30 million, I'll just sever all ties with what you owe me from now on with these movies, which is probably not the best idea, just because you can make a lot of money with just, monetary stuff that keeps coming over time. So then he ended up leaving his own company, and that story still continues to develop and figuring out what went really on. Something tells me he had some financial problems, and that's why he took the money and ran and everything. So we'll see what happens with that. So for my last story, it looks like Melissa McCarthy is in talks to play Ursula in the live-action mermaid film for Disney. Now, when I say in talks, it probably means she's going to be playing. Now, this is an unusually bad casting decision for Disney, in my opinion. This is almost Warner Brothers DC level casting bad decision, in my opinion. It's just, I personally don't like this. And so now a lot of people may say that Will Smith's casting as the genie in the live-action Aladdin movie was a bad decision, and that turned out great. I mean, he was probably one of the, if arguably the best part of the movie. But I personally still feel that casting Melissa McCarthy is a bad decision, even though, like, for instance, Will Smith was good. Melissa McCarthy, I still think, is bad. Now, even though McCarthy may have just gotten an Oscar nomination and her movie coming out, The Kitchen, does look good, it still looks cheap, in my opinion. Now, her career at the moment is at a spectacular low point, which is not 100% sure she can recover from that, especially with the Ghostbusters reboot. I mean, she's got that Ghostbusters stank on her, and I don't know if she can wash it off. I mean, it was bad. It was a bad movie. And then she had the one where she was that motivational speaker, and then she just had flop after flop. She had the one where she went to college with her daughter. I can't even remember all the name of these because they were just, they didn't make any money and they were bad. So now, I honestly can't believe that Disney would take on McCarthy onto a movie that is sure to be a slam dunk for the company. Now, it's really shocking development that Disney would not cast a woman of color or a drag queen, as a lot of fans on Twitter want. And a lot of people didn't realize that the original actress was white. A lot of people thought that she was a woman of color, and she is not, and I love her voice. I can't remember, and I didn't write it down in my notes what her name is, but she's just got a great voice, and I would love to see someone with a voice like that. And so a lot of people wanted a drag queen, or they wanted a woman of color, and one thing that really kind of sparked that was Queen Latifah did a photo shoot with Annie Leibovitz, where she was Ursula, and a lot of people look at that and they think, oh, Ursula can totally be a woman of color. And that'd be fine with me, but a lot of people were also hoping that they would cast Lady Gaga as Ursula. Now, this would not only be, I think, would satisfy a lot of people, it would also satisfy the LGBT community, as far as, because Lady Gaga is definitely an ally of the LGBT community. Now, I think that, speaking about how fans are upset about this, and they're outspoken, I think a lot of people want is they want Zendaya to play Ariel. Now, she famously just colored her hair red, and she said it was an ode to the original Mary Jane Watson from the Spider-Man movies, because she's in those movies as MJ, the new MJ. And a lot of people automatically said, look at her, she could be Ariel from The Little Mermaid. And I think that they really want them to cast her. And I think that one thing that it will happen is, because they would cast such a different, they would race bend it, because Ariel in the original movie is white. They would race bend it, and since they're going to do such a bold move with that I think that they want to cast someone that's visually as close to the original Ursula as possible. That way you can go, oh, well, they cast Zendaya, but at least it's not Melissa McCarthy and everything. So, which I think is kind of crappy. I say cast whoever you want, because I don't care who's playing them. I'm going to go see these movies. Although I don't think Melissa McCarthy is the best choice. I think they only cast her because she is a larger woman. and I think that they didn't need to cast a bigger woman. They could have cast Lady Gaga, and that would have been just totally fine. So, you guys, tell me, what do you think about these three stories? How do you feel about Ann Sarnoff becoming the new CEO of Warner Brothers? How do you feel about Joel Silver leaving his own company? And what do you think about the casting of Melissa McCarthy as Ursula in the new, or in the live-action Little Mermaid movie? Go ahead and leave your thoughts in that section down below. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next Sunday with my weekend review. Have a good week, guys. Bye! Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that Geek What icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and join me every Sunday with my weekend review.